Okay, welcome back. And I apologize for making the first two lessons a little bit longer, but I'm trying to keep these lessons between like 5 and 7 minutes. But because it's kind of like an introduction, I had to go a little bit longer. I'll try and start dialing them down a little bit. In lesson 3, we're gonna do a quick little lesson of understanding how we actually deal with emotions, and then we're actually gonna go into a letting go meditation at the end of this thing, where I take you into a connection to a pain that you've been avoiding your whole entire life. This is the work that everybody avoids most, and it's because we actually don't want to feel pain. The ego has spent its entire life making sure you don't feel this pain, and so now when you're saying, hey, I want to welcome it, we are going to resist it with everything that we got. And so, again, recognizing that this is not a channel where you just come to consume knowledge for the sake of consuming it. This is a channel that you come to do the work. So if you're not in a space where you're ready to do the work, where you're ready to sit in this 10-minute meditation, then just pause this video and come back to it when you are. This is not like something you're listening to in your car, essentially, right? So let's go over the 4 ways that we deal with emotions. The first way is that we suppress them, and this is pretty simple to understand. It's like you feel an emotion come up, and you say, no, I don't want to feel that, right? And so you just shove it down. Suppression is a shoving down of emotions. We recognize the emotions there, but we're shoving it down. The second way is that we repress them. This is what I was talking about in lesson 2. We experience something so terribly painful that we shoved it so far down that we actually don't remember it. And I know what you're thinking. It's like, well, if I don't remember it, what's the big deal? Well, the reality is, even though that you don't remember it, the mechanism that the mind created to protect you from that pain you experienced is still working. Right? And it's actually working so well that it helped to repress that emotion, right? And so the emotions that are repressed are usually the ones that when we free ourselves from them, when all of a sudden this memory comes into our awareness, and it's like when it shows up, it's almost like you're like, you know it was always there, but you were unaware of it. When it shows up, it is such an aha moment that aha creates a letting go in itself. Right? Now, the good news is that everything that we've done up to this point is actually part of the letting go process. It's about creating awareness. It's about understanding what it's connected to. And then finally, it's about having the courage to sit in the pain that we've been avoiding our whole entire lives. And so when we learn to step outside these mechanisms of the mind to not feel, and we start to move towards feeling, we start to become free. So the third way is that we express our emotions. And this is essentially better known as like venting. And so venting of emotions is essentially completely useless. It doesn't help us. Talking about our problems does not help us. There is a way to talk about our problems that is constructive, and this is usually in therapy or in coaching, because we have an unbiased sounding board that is reflecting back to us what they are hearing, right? When we vent to our friends and our family, all we're doing is trying to get enough of the emotion out so that we can suppress it back down. And usually what happens in venting is that we end up putting our problems onto the people that we love and care about most. What they want to do is try and make us feel better. And in trying to make us feel better, they are pulling us out of the emotions. So if you had a really good coach or therapist, what they would do is, as you were venting about something, they would begin to become inquisitive around what is it you're avoiding feeling. And they would start to, instead of trying to make you feel better, they would try and make you feel worse, meaning they would try and push you towards feeling more of the emotion that you're trying to avoid through venting. And so this is why venting essentially doesn't work. Don't talk about your problems. It's going to create more problems. The last way is we escape. And this is like, entertainment, social media, drugs, alcohol. We just find ways and mechanisms to not feel, okay? And so the fifth one that I've kind of added is addition. We are constantly trying to look for something to add to not feel. We're trying to develop coping mechanisms. We're trying to do meditations. We're trying to do yoga. We're taking anti-anxiety medication. We're trying to add something out there that is trying to solve something that's going on from within. And so the answer is to never look out there. Kind of like the cornerstone of my coaching is it's never about what's going on out there. It's always about what's going on in here. And so we want to eliminate any form of addition. In letting go, what we're doing is we are learning how to sit in and subtract the mechanisms that we have created to protect us from emotional pain. And so what we're going to do here is I'm going to walk you through a connection And when you identify that original incident, whatever came up to you, we're going to bring you back to that moment. We're going to allow you to connect to that pain that you've been avoiding feeling. And even as I'm saying this, even though I'm talking to a camera, I recognize the resistance in everybody as that comes up. It's almost like you want to turn this video off. But that resistance is what is keeping this behavior that is not serving you going. It's like what we resist persists. And what we're resisting is an emotion. And that emotion is creating a belief system. And that belief system is creating thoughts. And those thoughts are creating our reality. So in order to create lasting change, we need to stop resisting our pain and move towards it. And that's what we're going to do in this letting go mechanism. So the important thing to recognize in letting go is we are going to keep all of our attention on the pain that we are in. I'm going to use a kind of just like a guide to bring you to your pain. And as you connect to the pain, the mind will immediately try and pull you out of it. It'll do so by distracting you. It'll say things like, this isn't working, I'm not connecting. It'll do all of these things. Every thought that we have in the letting go mechanism, we want to observe and ignore essentially, or let pass. And then we want to re-bring our focus to how we feel. What is a feeling? It's just a sensation in the body, right? And so we have been led to believe that it is a mile long or mile wide lake, but the reality is it's only an inch deep. And if we finally have the courage to sit in that inch deep beyond the resistance, right? Then we are going to be able to connect fully to what the emotion really is, which is just a sensation in the body. We keep all of our awareness on that sensation in the body. Every thought that enters, we ignore or let pass. We reconnect to the feeling. And we do that process until the feeling begins to lose its power. Now, one thing I want to caution you of, as we begin to do this and you connect to this like really, really deep pain, the second you fully connect, the pain's going to reduce. And people think, well, this can't be it, right? But it is it, right? This has been the thing that you've been avoiding your whole entire life. And this is all it is, right? And so learning how to sit there and be okay in that thing is the letting go process, right? And so if it feels like it begins to reduce immediately, don't dismiss that. That is the mind trying to distract you from going deeper and from fully letting go. So let's walk through this process together. We're going to put on some meditation music in this lesson so that you can connect fully. So basically what I want you to do is just close your eyes. You want to be in a seat that keeps you sitting upright, where you're not going to fall asleep. You could sit on the floor cross-legged. But basically the posture is just like you're not slouched, you're sitting straight up. And the first connection I want you to make, well, actually, let's just take a couple breaths, wiggle around here, just kind of like getting settled into your body. We want to be able to sit here for 10 minutes or so without having to move too much. So yeah, there we go. Just letting the breath settle down. Good. And the first connection I want you to make is to the earth. So just visualize yourself sitting on a bed of roots. Those roots stretch far and wide all the way down to the center of the earth where they feel the warmth from the earth's core. That warmth moves up those roots and into your feet, and just feel the sensation of being completely grounded and connected to the earth in your feet. Feel that warmth now traveling up your calves and your shins. Feel it moving into your knees, into your quads, your glutes, and your hamstrings. Feel it moving in through the pelvic area, into your stomach, into your gut. And just let the belly just relax here. Good. Moving into the lungs, into the heart, and just noticing here is where some tension is being held onto. You may feel the need to take a breath out, so you can do that. Good. And then into the shoulders, and let the shoulders drop by maintaining the posture. And that energy, that grounded energy of the earth flows down the arms, into the hands, back up the hands, into the neck. into the jaw. We let the jaw release a little bit here. Let the tongue come off the roof of the mouth. See that energy moving through the eyes, through the mind. Then it kind of cycles back down through the entire body. You see it cascading down the entire body and moving into and cycling back through the earth and back in through you. Good. Zach, you want to just tell them to? Yeah. Yeah, no, it's fine. You can just cut this. Even if they just step out for a minute. Oh, they're outside?
That door was open too.
Oh, okay.
But they were all slip shut.
Okay, here we're going to make the next connection, which is I want you to begin to observe the white light of divinity, the universe, whatever your belief is, to see that as a white light coming into the top of your head. And it intertwines and fills your entire body. And now your whole body is radiating with this white light, this all-knowing, all-powerful, all-present energy of God, of the universe, of infinite intelligence, source energy. You just insert your own word there. Just see that flowing through your body, combining with the grounded energy of the earth. All of this is designed to pull you into the present moment. See that white light now expanding from your body into the room, and it fills the room that you're sitting in. And from this white light, we can step back and we can observe the empty space which our body takes up within that white light. And we can recognize from this space of observer, this white light is the energy that connects us all. We can take a 30,000 foot view from the house we're in, the building we're in, to our city, to our country, to the entire world. See that white light encompassing the entire world, and then noticing the empty space that you take up in that white light. Good. And from this place, we're going to bring up that original incident. Whatever that moment was that you identified in lesson 2 in the transformation ladder, there's a climax or a peak of that emotion. There's a peak of the fear. There's a peak of the anger. There's a peak of the hopelessness. There's a peak of the guilt. Right? That's where I want you to connect to. So now as you connect to that, maybe there was something that was said to you, something that was done to you. This is what's going to allow you to feel and connect to that emotion in the body. And all I want you to do is, as you connect to that emotion using this incident, using this climax of this incident, I want you to observe where you're feeling that emotion in the body. As you connect to it, you may feel the need to breathe out. This is standing on the rung of the ladder. We're breathing through the emotion. And as our awareness begins to slip away from the feeling, we replay the incident and we reconnect to that emotion again, where we're feeling it in the body, and we stay with it. We keep all of our attention on it. Any effort to modify the feeling is ignored, and we just stay in the feeling. Good. Reconnect again. Replay the incident. Reconnect to the emotion in the body. Notice the mind trying to pull you out of it. Observe that and reconnect. This is the same as focusing on the breath and meditation. Here we're focused on the pain that we are experiencing in the body because of this incident. Breathing through it as you feel the need to. Don't try and justify it. Don't try and talk your way out of it. to stay in it, stay in the emotion. I'm working on the fear of missing out. And so I'm sitting in the pain of missing out. What it feels like to miss out on an opportunity, what it feels like to be left out. And I'm just staying in that pain. And the mind wants to be like, yo, you're going to be okay. That's resistance. Reconnect again. Rating the feeling now on a scale of 1 to 10 of how intense it is. Staying with it as it begins to reduce and lose power. Noticing how it drops from a 10 to a 9. Every time you feel like the emotion has left the body, you're not connected to it, you reconnect again. Breathing through it as necessary. Noticing the mind distracting you. Bring yourself back. Feel the pain fully. Stay with it. Breathe it out and reconnect. This is all you've been avoiding. This is it. Let's stay with it as it continues to reduce. Noticing that you can't even bring it back to a 10 if you try. Even with every reconnection, you can't even bring it to a 10. Reconnect again. Don't let the mind come in at all. Stay with it. Let the body release now and relax. Show the body from this place of observer that it is safe. It is safe to let go and release. As the body relaxes, reconnect again. Don't let the mind come in. Feel the feeling. Stay with it. Watch it burn out. Breathing it out. Good. Good. See that release happening. See the energy of this emotion leaving from the center of the chest. Breathe it out one more time. Noticing the hole now that this emotion has left. It's almost like ripping out a plant from its root. And so let's fill that hole with whatever you're feeling called to fill it with. Maybe it's love, maybe it's gratitude, maybe it's self-acceptance. Just allow that energy to flow in from that white light that we connected to and fill that void now with new understanding and new connection. Feel the gratitude for even being here in this moment. Feel the gratitude of allowing, of being called to heal finally. See the releasing of all the protections from this pain that you've been avoiding. Recognizing that this is all it is and you are safe. You can handle it. Take one more deep breath in. Exhale. Take a moment to give your thanks to the understanding of your understanding of a higher power for allowing this treatment, this healing, this letting go to happen. Begin to bring some awareness back to the body, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Another deep breath. And when you're ready, you can rejoin us and open your eyes. So I know what you're thinking is like, I don't know if that worked, or is this really it? Did this really work? This can't be all it is. These are the things I've heard from coaching hundreds of clients. And the essentially letting go is like something you have to train, you have to learn. And what you have to learn how to do is you have to learn how to avoid the resistance of the mind. As you let go of the resistance towards feeling the pain, you connect more fully to the pain. And so what we basically did there was we took a bite of the apple, the bite of the apple for me of fear of missing out, right? And while I felt that emotion completely reduce, and I recognize that I'm okay in the fear of missing out, I know that that was probably just one bite of the apple. And if the behaviors that continue to show up, such as comparison, that's one of my behaviors, if it continues to show up, I'll have to go back into this process again, take another bite of the apple, but there will come a moment when the apple is completely gone, right? Where this emotion, it can no longer have any power over us. And this is when we know we're truly free. And then this is also when that behavior that is not serving us disappears. And that's when we have the space to tap into our true potential. So I hope you enjoyed the first course released on this YouTube channel, Understanding Yourself and Unlocking Your Potential. This is the first of many more to come. If you've gotten any value, share it with a friend, subscribe. It would be greatly appreciated because I want to share this message and these realizations with as many people as I possibly can. Thank you.